Hi, puppy. Sweet puppy.
So where are you at?
I'm in Valley Falls at the Humane Society. My life is strange. This will be much quieter. Is this okay with the internet connection, or is it getting bad?
No, yeah, it looks good.
Still good? Okay.
What's going on? How was your week?
It was good. It was good. It was. I have had a lot of press and interviews, and I'm feeling like, I guess, worried that, I'm bringing the public into somebody's private space, into their home, and I'm feeling a little like nervous that because people are being really open with me. Like, as far as my project goes, it's working really well. People tell me all sorts of things, and they talk about sometimes pretty heavy subjects or personal things, or their political beliefs, something about gay rights or abortion. And I know that their neighbors may well be watching and maybe don't believe the same things. And so, I got a bunch of press, and then suddenly there's 40 people watching, and I'm sitting in somebody's living room, and they're telling me something really, personal, or really maybe objectionable in their community. And then I'm feeling like I just going into somebody's house, and then I'm moving on, and I don't know what the repercussions might be of what I leave behind. So I started the week in Abilene, and that was my kind of day off, and I stayed with Mary, who was very wonderful and let me stay an extra day. And I got caught up on some of the things I needed to do. And, she's a chatty lady. We had great conversations. She's one of the people who's just being really open and telling me lots of stuff. And then I went to Chapman, and I stayed with a family there, a couple actually, and their grown daughters called and checked it out online and talked to us. But the next day I walked through Chapman, and they had told me about the tornado that went through there. And she said it's the first time, it was 2 years ago, it took out the elementary school, the high school, and the middle school, as well as a bunch of houses and everything. Only one person died, which is pretty amazing. But it was a huge tornado in a small town, and it just went right through it.
It's strange because, in a town like this, you wouldn't see normally all these new trees, but this was just wiped out, so I guess they had to plant all new trees. In 100 years, it'll look like it did before, a little more.
So it was interesting to go through town and see everything new. You can see, on this side of the street, here's old houses that have clearly been here a long time, and then a field that's really flat with little skinny trees and brand new houses in it. You just see where this destruction went through, and you think of a town that size as a small town, what that does to your community. But I talked to the newswoman there, and she said that the way that the community pulled together, and how so many people from all over came and brought food and blankets and helped, and it was really, I found that not surprising at all. I mean, every time I've heard about a disaster, that's what people do. They come together, and they just show up and help. So I thought that was really cool. I've stayed in too many towns. It's been 94 days. I think that's right. I think after Junction City, I stayed in Wamego, and I stayed with Bill and Jennifer. And Bill is the hot rod guy. You walk into their house, and he has a full-on wall, floor to ceiling, of hot rods, all 4 walls, and then his computer desk. And then you go into their living room, and they said their house is like a museum. It's just photographs and pictures all over the walls, every inch, And she's like, there's still room there. I can still put a few things up. They were really sweet and really cool. And also, their daughter, the mom, and Bill all work at Pizza Hut, which I thought was really funny. And Bill's a pizza delivery guy. He's like, I like being a pizza delivery guy. I used to be an engineer, but I like this better. He's just really funny. A cool thing happened. Somebody I stayed with, there was a thunderstorm coming in, and we had been talking, openly, and about all sorts of different topics, like political topics and all these things. And she picked up somebody locally and gave them a ride because the storm was coming up. And she came back, she said, I never really talked to this woman before, but, she was walking and I saw her and I gave her a ride. And we ended up talking about a topic and we totally disagreed. And she said, I looked at the lady and I said, you remember when we were little and we could agree to disagree on something and still be friends? We could fight about something and still be friends. And the woman said, yeah. She's like, I'd like to do that. And she's like, yeah, I think we could be friends. And I think that I'm finding that my own fears about people judging each other, and it leaking into like personal lives is something that we worry about nationally. Like there's so much fighting, over, basically everybody agrees there's a problem. And it isn't even that ideologically people might even believe the exact same thing, but their idea of what the solution is different. So I've gotten to the point with politics where I feel like I don't want to fight about it. I don't want to. I feel like what this woman said. Can't we? It's kind of dumb, but can't we agree to disagree and be friends? And And with the deficit stuff, it's weird when you're walking across the country and you don't get a newspaper and you don't read stuff online. I don't have time for that, and I don't follow anything, but it seeps into every conversation. So I know what's going on in the big news of our country without ever watching a TV program or reading a newspaper or going online to get information. I guess that's what I'm feeling in general. Like I'm this disconnected entity going through people's lives in their homes, and I just keep going, It's like I've taken a step to the side or something. And I feel that way about politics right now too. Like I've just taken a step to the side.
It's not too bad yet. It's only gonna get hotter, huh? I could wear shorts, but I'm in the ditches a lot of times, and with the grass up to my knees, so. Yep.